Welcome to learning how to use SPSS, which stands for Statistical Program for the Social Sciences. The first thing I want you to do is realize that this is similar to Excel, but not quite the same. The first thing I'd like you to do is to open up your program and then go to this view, which is the data view. And you'll notice down in the left bottom corner, there's data view and variable view. Variable view is like making a 90-degree turn of what you see in data view. That will come clear in a moment. In order to label the columns, what you need to do is double-click on the first column, which will take you to the variable view, and you will see that there is a new column there which is called name. Here I would like you to type student, as we are going to get ready to bring some data by cutting and pasting over from your Excel file. So move down to the next, what is now a row, but you'll see soon that this is actually going to be a column. And in this second row here, or column, type gender, and then right below that type age. Then take your cursor down to the bottom and click on Data View. You will notice your columns are now making a 90-degree turn and are actually the labels for your data view. What I'd like you to do now is to go ahead and grab your Excel file and copy the student IDs as well as the gender and the age for your class. So once you have turned your editing function on, copy, or select I should say, and then copy those columns and directly place them into the cells within SPSS. Okay, it's a direct copy. You can see that you have all the students brought over. Make sure you do not bring over that first row, the dummy row. That belongs only in Excel. Okay, so the next thing to do is to decide on which statistical analysis you are going to be evaluating. So the first step will be to consider how your students compare to the norm. And you can see here that we have the student number, gender, and age. So it is important to tell the computer that gender is going to be a categorical variable. And in order to assign categories, what I'd like you to do is double click on gender, the column label, and then go across until you see label, and then click anywhere in that cell. Click again, oops, sorry, don't click label, click values, value labels. By clicking, I'll show you that again, by clicking values here, where it says none originally, you will be able to assign words to numbers. So where you have ones, you might decide that that is the number for males, and where you have twos in your data file is females. Be sure you're consistent with however you labeled or however you inserted your data and their scores. And click OK. Go back to data view and you'll see that you have a list of males that are now in words and females. Up here where it says 1 arrow A, if you click that, you can see that the gender column changes from words to numbers. So assuming that we are going to be running a one sample t-test, what we need to do is find the mean for each of the genders. So once you have your norm and your data brought over, it'll be important to pay attention to the steps that are involved in this pull down menu here. So assuming that we are doing a fitness test first for norms, what you need to do is decide on what your research question is. And in my case, it's going to be number of push-ups that are done by males and females. So I'm going to pull the post-test scores for my sample over, similar to the way I captured the other data, by excluding the dummy scores, selecting the student scores, and then pasting it right in to this column, which I'll double click on and label sit-up scores. Notice how I don't have any spaces in between here, because it is a funky thing about SPSS. It doesn't allow you to put spaces when you name the column. But if you want to put a more extended label, you can go to the label column and sit-up scores can be typed like so. Just as another example, ID numbers of students. Okay, so if you're running a one-group t-test, which, as you know by now, compares gender and age-specific norms to what you have in your sample, or your sample to age-specific norms, the first step to do is to go into transform and exclude, actually not transform, data. So click on data, go down to select cases, which is way at the bottom, and here this box shall pop up. Click the second button, click if, and a third box will pop up. It looks like this, and you'll type in, or you'll select rather, gender equals 1. Okay. So you'll notice that some of these, once you click OK, will get crossed out. First, though, you will find that the output window will pop up, and it'll have a record of the syntax for the analysis you ran, or the function you ran. And then you'll see here on the left-hand side that all of these cases, the females, for example, are being excluded from the analysis because you specified that you only want to consider males. So, very simply, once you have your norm, so in my case, because I have 14 to 18-year-olds, I have to take a broad range of norms and add them together. So the norms for males who are 14, those 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Once you look up your reference norm, you write that down. In my case, the norm is 38. That's the 50th percentile. So keep that in mind. Then, to run the analysis, you go to Analyze, Compare Means, One Sample t-test. The test variable is sit-up scores, so you put that into the test variable box, and then you write or type the norm, 38, into the test value. Check options, set at 95% confidence interval, so you don't have to do anything there, and then just hit OK. And then you will see your results. Really quickly, you can see that there's an N of 16, so 16 males average 22.62 sit-ups with a standard deviation of 8.04 if you're rounding to the nearest 10th percentile. And you'll need to record those numbers as well as the t-value, the degrees of freedom, and the significance notation, which is your p-value. Okay? So here what you're doing is you're comparing your mean of 22 to the test value of 38. And in this case, the males in my class were significantly lower than the norm, which is 38, because we can see that p is less than 0.01. So The boys performed much worse than the norm.